Hello, my name is Daisy Pistey-Lyhne. I'm speaking today in opposition to the repeal of the Clean Power Plan as a San Francisco resident, a citizen of the United States, an environmental scientist with a master's in global systems, and a member of Operation Free, which mobilizes veterans and the defense community in support of action on climate change. We know that climate change is real and that America must exert global leadership in carbon pollution reductions to slow its effect. We also know that climate change is a national security threat. The military and the CIA have called this out for the last 20 years, that it makes our world a more dangerous place. Climate refugees are being forced from their homes as wildfires, hurricanes, droughts, and sea level rise pound our communities and put huge burdens on our economy. Regions around the globe are being destabilized by natural disasters and the added burden of natural resource scarcity. The Clean Power Plan would aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions reduction from the power sector by 32% by 2030, for the first time regulating at the federal level the climate pollutants that come from the sector that produces the most quantity of these emissions. The plan has been in the works for several years now, based on the Supreme Court ruling that found that our nation has a responsibility to regulate greenhouse gas emissions as a health effect because of the health effects of this pollution on our nation's communities. Despite this, the design of the plan, as proposed in draft form prior to the Trump administration's push for repeal, was an important step in the right direction, but already did not go far enough to meet our nation's demand for reductions for both greenhouse gases and other air pollutants from our nation's power plants that put a huge health burden on the health of our citizens and the associated financial burden of our nation's healthcare systems. However, it does give significant flexibility to the states in how they meet their carbon pollution reductions, which means that the financial burden of this plan is minimal. As we've already heard today, the majority of states are already on track to easily meet these emissions reductions while stimulating their economies and growing jobs. Additionally, the legal and health and environmental reasons for the Clean Power Plan to be enacted are still in place, regardless of today's politics. The electrical sector disproportionately places a health burden on low-income communities and communities of color across the nation due to the fact that fossil fuel plants are disproportionately located in these communities, leading to death, heart disease, asthma, low birth weights, cancer, and other pulmonary and cardiac diseases. About 8,000 deaths every year occur due to the pollution from fossil power plants across our country. By reducing the use of fossil fuels across the country, the Clean Power Plan will increase environmental justice and reduce the cost of healthcare on our nation's most fragile citizens. If we don't take steps to move away from fossil fuels now, we will experience more frequent extreme weather events, which is why the military is leading the way on clean energy investments and innovation. Clean energy is already the cheapest energy on the grid in many cases, and sticking with fossil fuel generation is like deciding that we want to stick with our flip phones rather than moving forward to the smartphones we all have in our pockets. We already have more than 500,000 clean energy jobs in California. Clean energy has been one of the consistent growth sectors in our economy, even during the recent recession. We need the leadership of the federal government to bring us this clean energy future, which is why I urge Administrator Pruitt and President Trump to keep their promise to revitalize the economy and create opportunities for jobs of the future by moving forward on the Clean Power Plan and investing in clean energy for the future, as well as storage technologies. As Mary Nichols asked earlier, this is a listening session, and who are you listening to? Are you listening to oil, gas, and coal lobbyists? Or are you listening to the future of our children, the health of our communities, the vast number of jobs created and to be created in clean energy industry, and the millions around the world whose homes will be destroyed and endangered by the impacts of climate change in coming years? I urge you to listen to your citizens and move forward with the Clean Power Plan in the strongest form possible. Thank you.